After my rebirth, the first thing I did was match Lu Xiao with his cousin Jiang Waner, only because, in my past life, I absolutely refused to let Lu Xiao take a concubine. Jiang Waner left heartbroken, and half a month later, news came back that she had been abducted by mountain bandits. Lu Xiao hated me for a lifetime. I was also disgusted with Lu Xiao for a lifetime. Lu Xiao was severely injured on yet another trip to find Jiang Waner. When he was carried back to the manor, he only had one last breath left. We hadn't spoken for over a year, before dying. He shamelessly begged me, "Ning, please help me find Waner." I nodded. "Got it. I'll definitely help you find her, then send her down to be buried with you." Lu Xiao raged impotently. "Wen Yining, I'll kill you." I sneered coldly. "I am standing right here. Lu Xiao, why don't you get up and kill me then?" I dumped Lu Xiao at the mass grave, went back to the manor, happily drank a pot of wine, and slept soundly. When I woke up again, I had returned to 5 years ago, the second day after I just married into the Marquis manor. Good. This is just too good. As a virtuous wife, I must proactively help my husband take a concubine to continue the Marquis manor's bloodline. "Brother Xiao, really, you really will marry me?" In the pavilion, two figures embraced each other, the woman's voice sweet and coquettish. I lowered my head, looking at the medicine tray in my hands, confirming I had been reborn back to the second day after marrying Lu Xiao. That perfect couple snuggling together not far away was truly a sight for the eyes. My trusted maid Kuiji saw me standing still and quietly reminded me, "Miss, the medicine is getting cold. The old madam will probably make things difficult for you again." The Grand Qingyuan Marquis Manor had plenty of maids and servants, yet the old madam insisted that I, a new bride, serve her medicine, just to torment me. In my past life, I wanted to live a good life with Lu Xiao. A daughter-in-law serving her mother-in-law was only proper, so I endured everything I could. And what did that get me? They said I was petty, jealous, and vicious. Since I have a chance to start over, I'll let Jiang Waner play the filial daughter-in-law. I handed the medicine tray to Kuiji. "Go dump it." Kuiji thought she heard wrong. "Miss, are you telling me to dump this medicine?" I took a deep breath. "Dump it. Starting today, we don't need to bother with the old madam's medicine anymore." Kuiji was so moved, she nearly cried. "Miss, you finally come to your senses. Before you married in, was the old madam not taking her medicine? It is obviously bullying the new bride. Even farming families with a shred of dignity wouldn't torment their daughters-in-law. Yet this is supposed to be a Marquis manor." Kuiji was still speaking up for me. I shot her a look, telling her to go deal with the medicine first. Lu Xiao had his arms around Jiang Waner, seemingly with endless things to say, and didn't notice me hiding behind the rockery. "Waner, I had a dream. I dreamed you left me, ran into danger on the road, and I kept searching for you. Fate plays tricks on people in my dream. Until I died, I never found you. Fortunately, in this life I will never let you leave me." My fingers resting on the rockery gradually turned white. Lu Xiao, he also experienced rebirth. He has memories from his past life. That is even better. I must make him make up for his past life's regrets. Marry Jiang Waner, and watch how lovey-dovey and happy they are in this life. Jiang Waner's soft and delicate voice sounded again. "Brother Xiao, did you really not touch Wen Yining last night?" Lu Xiao denied repeatedly. "No. If it weren't for her Zhengguo Duke Manor's reputation and her generous dowry, how could I possibly marry her? My first time can only be Waner's. My children can only be born by Waner. When I find the chance, I'll drug Wen Yining, making it impossible for her to ever have children. I just have to wrong Waner for now. Wen Yining's parents both died on the battlefield, and the Emperor has given much favor to the Zhengguo Duke Manor, so we can't tear off the mask with her yet." Jiang Waner stood on tiptoe, kissed the corner of Lu Xiao's lips, her voice gentle. "As long as I can be with Brother Xiao, Waner won't feel wronged no matter what." Lu Xiao cupped the back of Jiang Waner's head. The two of them kissed passionately, their lips and tongues entwined, reluctant to part. "Brother, sister Waner, so you are here. I've been looking all over for you." A crisp young female voice came, from far to near. It was Lu Yue, Lu Xiao's younger sister, my sister-in-law. recalling my past life, from the first day I entered this household until she got married. She was always full of hostility toward me, never once giving me a pleasant look. At that time I thought, she is just a young girl after all, raised with endless pampering and affection, so being a bit spoiled and willful was understandable. I never expected she would join forces with Jiang Wan'er to ruin my reputation. The flower viewing banquet hosted by the Marquis Manor invited all the capital's ministers and noble families. But Lu Yue drugged my wine cup, if not for Kuiji's quick thinking, helping me back to my own courtyard. What would have awaited me was being caught red-handed for impropriety and having an affair with a stable hand. Even if the Marquis Manor temporarily didn't divorce me for the sake of the Zhengguo General Manor's reputation, having become the laughingstock of the entire capital, I would have no face to continue being the Marquis Manor's madam. There are still 10 days until this incident happened in my past life. This time, I will definitely give them a huge surprise. Just as I returned to the courtyard, tending to the peony flowers I brought as part of my dowry, Lu Shao came. He was very angry, kicking the courtyard gate open. Wen Yining, why didn't you go attend to mother taking her medicine? He probably remembered how I viciously responded to him when he desperately begged me before his death in the past life. His face grew even more cold and grim, as if icy water was about to drip from it. Vicious woman, is this how the Zhengguo General Manor raises its daughters? I patted the dust off my hands, walked up to Lu Shao, and raised my hand to slap him. Thinking about the past life, how he refused to divorce, wasting 5 years of my life, my anger surged even more. I backhanded him with another slap. Lu Shao came to his senses, absolutely livid. Wen Yining, you vicious woman. How dare you hit me? I shook my sore wrist. Insult my maternal family again, and I'll hit you again. Having lived 2 lives, I thought, Lu Shao would have more backbone. As it turned out, he disappointed me again. For the sake of my parents' posthumous honors, for the sake of my dowry, he once again became a cowardly turtle. Lu Shao took a deep breath and changed the subject. In 10 days, the household will hold a flower appreciation banquet. Since you've already married into the Marquis Manor, the banquet should naturally be handled by you. I extended my hand toward him. If you want me to handle the flower banquet, it is not impossible. First, hand over the goods. Lu Shao was completely baffled. What goods? I said with a mocking tone. Silver, of course. Setting up the feast costs money, buying meat and vegetables costs silver. Tea and snacks also cost silver. Seeing Lu Shao's expression turn ugly, I covered my mouth, putting on a look of sudden realization. Husband, you wouldn't be expecting this concubine to use her own dowry to host the flower banquet for the Marquis Manor, would you? If word of this gets out, it would damage husband's reputation. If some censor happens to report it to His Majesty, it might even affect husband's promotion. Lu Shao forced out a smile. Madam has misunderstood. The silver for the flower banquet will naturally come from the household funds. Madam's dowry is Madam's private property. I nodded. Husband is right. Since ancient times, the dowry has been a woman's private property. Only those useless good-for-nothing men would think of using their wife's dowry. Lu Shao left, just as hurried as when he came. Kuiji prepared tea and snacks for me. I sat by the window, eating while thinking about what to do next. Thank goodness, Lu Shao kept himself pure for Jiang Wan'er. On our wedding night, he pretended to be drunk as an excuse, didn't even lift my bridal veil, and went to sleep in the study. In my previous life, the day after our wedding, Lu Shao made an excuse to go to Jiangnan on official business and didn't return to the capital until 3 months later. So even if he is reborn, he knows nothing about Jiang Wan'er and Lu Yue's plan at the flower appreciation banquet. In the following days, I stayed in my own courtyard claiming I wasn't feeling well. Eating heartily, the old madam sent Nanny Fang, her personal attendant, over several times. The first few times, Kuiji turned her away with the excuse that I was sick and feared passing the illness to the old madam. The last time, Nanny Fang shoved the household management tokens and account books into Kuiji's hands and left. Kuiji wanted to chase after her, but I called her back. Kuiji held the household management tokens and account books like she was holding a hot potato, wanting to throw them away but not daring to. Miss, I took the account books and casually flipped through a few pages. Just like in my previous life, this Grand Marquis manor was spending more than it earned. Nothing but an empty shell. In my previous life, I used my dowry to cover the expenses, which allowed this family to live without worry, and gave Lu Xiao the money and time to go find Jiang Waner. I took out a handkerchief, wiped my fingertips. Don't worry, this household authority will soon return to the old madam's hands. 5 days passed, and seeing that I was still sick with no intention of organizing the flower viewing banquet, Lu Yan came again. His attitude was obviously much better than last time. Madam, the flower viewing banquet is in 5 days. The invitations were sent out long ago, and the date cannot be changed. Why haven't I seen you making any preparations? I furrowed my brows. Husband, even the cleverest housewife cannot cook without rice. Lu Yan gritted his teeth, looking like he was about to explode but forcibly held back. Madam, Mother said the household management has already been handed over to you. The silver needed for the flower viewing banquet, you can just withdraw it from the accounts yourself. I called Quiji. Bring the account books for the Marquis to look over. The more Lu Yan looked, the worse his expression became. How can there be no money in the accounts? I said indifferently. This question, the Marquis should go ask the person who was in charge of household management before, not me. A new bride who just married in a few days ago. Lu Yan left with the account books, feeling both angry and anxious inside, tripped on the threshold, and nearly fell. Quiji asked me what to do next. I sipped my tea. Wait. At dusk, Lu Yan had the steward deliver 1,000 taels of silver notes to me. Good thing after my rebirth, I bribed the servant boy by Lu Yan's side. How this 1,000 taels came about reached my ears even before the silver notes did. Lu Yan first went to find his mother, confirmed that the Marquis manor was truly in deficit, and his face completely changed. The flower viewing banquet was right around the corner. He had no choice but to find a way to raise money. Unable to swallow his pride and borrow money from colleagues, he thought of Jiang Waner. The silver he had privately given her before. The jewelry and accessories, he asked her to use them first for the emergency. Jiang Waner was unwilling at first. She was clearly reluctant to part with them, but insisted on saying they were gifts from Lu Xiao, so she treasured them dearly. In the end, it was only when Lu Xiao painted her a pie in the sky about making her the lady of the Marquis manor someday that she reluctantly agreed. In my past life, Lu Xiao was always on his quest for true love because I was handling everything for him, inside and out. In this life, without my scheming and planning, let's see just how important true love really is to him. 1,000 taels was quickly spent, and holding the procurement list, I went to ask Lu Xiao for another 1,000 taels. The owner of Zhenbao Pavilion gave me 50% of the profits. In other words, out of 2,000 taels in silver notes, 1,000 went into my pocket. Quiji gave me a thumbs up. Miss, you are really amazing. I gave the silver notes to Quiji. This is your reward. Use it to get your father treated. Quiji dropped to her knees before me with a thud. Miss, this servant will never forget your great kindness in this lifetime. Wherever you need this servant, I will not hesitate even if it means death. I helped her up. Silly girl, we grew up together. I've long considered you my little sister. In my past life, after Quiji helped me back to my room, fearing the stable hand might be instructed by someone to turn on me, she went to warn him. As a result, she was framed by Jiang Waner and Lu Ye for having an affair with the stable hand. By the time I woke up, it was too late. Quiji had been beaten to death by them. Jiang Waner and Lu Yue killing Quiji was also the main reason why in my previous life I refused to let Lu Xiao take her as a concubine and stopped meddling in Lu Yue's marriage. I actually wanted to kill Jiang Wanyue, but she ran away before I could make my move. As for Lu Yue, the old madam and Lu Xiao were dead set on using her marriage to pave the way for Lu Xiao's career, so they didn't exactly pick a good man. The second young master of the Sunday family, son of the Minister of Revenue. He had it all, drinking, whoring, and gambling. Families of higher status in the capital all looked down on him. But girls from humble families, the madam of the Minister of Revenue, also looked down on. After looking left and right, the second young miss of the already fallen Qingyuan Marquis manor became a good match. I opposed it at the time, But Lu Yue said I just couldn't stand to see her doing well. I watched coldly as Lu Yue got married. When the old madam passed away, she didn't even come back for the funeral. The second young master Sunday had a secret kink. He liked wife swapping. At that time, Lu Shao had already received news that Jiang Waner had been kidnapped by mountain bandits. All he could think about was finding Jiang Waner and rescuing her. How could he still care about Lu Ye, his own sister? Until Lu Shao died, Lu Ye never showed up. I guess Lu Yue had long been tortured to death by the second young master Sunday. Jiang Waner was brainless, coming here to provoke me. I didn't indulge her. I raised my hand and slapped her. Jiang Waner covered her slapped face, staring at me with wide eyes as if she couldn't believe I would hit her. Wen Yining, you bitch, how dare you hit me? Let me tell you the truth. The only one brother Shao loves is me. If it weren't for your family background being useful to the Lu family, Brother Shao wouldn't even spare you a glance. I clutched my chest and looked behind her, my eyes slightly red. Husband, is what cousin said all true? Lu Shao strode forward, and without a word, slapped Jiang Waner across the face. Mother pitied you for losing your parents young, and let you stay at the Marquise's residence. Who would have thought you harbored such improper thoughts? Jiang Waner was stunned after being slapped by Lu Shao. When she came to her senses, she cried aggrievedly, Brother Shao, you hit me. She had been living at the Marquise's residence for 3 years now, and Lu Shao had never even spoken a harsh word to her, let alone hit her. This was the first time, and she couldn't accept it for the moment. A flash of heartache and regret passed through Lu Shao's eyes. Yet in front of me, he still had to put on a fierce appearance. I meant to hit you, since I am your cousin. My wife is your cousin-in-law. You must show respect and apologize to her. Jiang Waner ran away crying. While running, she shouted, I did nothing wrong. Even if I die, I won't apologize to Wen Yining. I sneered coldly in my heart. Won't apologize even if you die. Then go ahead and die. Lu Yan gazed at me with heavy eyes, wanting to explain. But I cut him off. Husband, Sister Waner is still young. That slap you gave just now was really too much. Anxiety surfaced on Lu Shao's face. I continued. Cousin Waner is already an orphan without parents, staying at the Marquise's residence, sensitive and insecure, prone to overthinking. Hurry and go comfort her. Madam is right. Our Marquise's residence absolutely cannot get a reputation for mistreating relatives. Lu Shao dropped that line and left. He left in such a hurry, as if the next moment, he wanted to appear before Jiang Waner, hold her in his arms, and coax her gently. The day before the flower viewing banquet, I gave Kuiji 10 days off, letting her go back to take her father to see a doctor and spend some quality time with her parents. The little maid was scared, standing there and refusing to leave. Miss, do you not want me to serve you anymore? I gently patted the back of her hand. How could I not want you? I still need to take you along to do business and make big money. Kuiji wiped the corners of her eyes and went home reassured. The old woman I arranged to chat by Jiang Waner's window came back and told me that after Jiang Waner heard their gossip, she opened the window and gave them a scolding. Everything was ready, just waiting for tomorrow. The next day, I got up very early. With the experience from my past life, hosting a banquet in this life came naturally. Unlike my past life, Lu Yan didn't go out on official business. He attended the flower viewing banquet. And the drug that was supposed to be slipped into my wine cup ended up in Lu Yan and Jiang Wanru's cups instead. Lu Yue didn't know about this. Seeing me leave the banquet, she thought everything had gone according to plan. She brought a huge crowd of people and rushed to the side chamber to catch the adulterers. Several servants kicked the door open, and through the wide-open doorway, I saw a man and woman going at it on the bed. Lu Yue shrieked, Sister-in-law, how can you be so shameless? I walked over from the other side of the corridor pillar. Lu Yue, which sister-in-law are you yelling at? Lu Yue didn't even turn her head, saying dismissively, my brother only married one. Before she could finish, she remembered something and whipped her head around. Our eyes met, and a faint smile still lingered at the corner of my lips. Lu Yue looked like she'd seen a ghost, her eyes wide as saucers, her face full of terror. You, why are you here? I walked slowly toward the crowd, pretending not to know what had happened, and asked, What is going on? Why is everyone gathered here? As I got closer, my gaze swept over the open side chamber. Suddenly, as if startled by something, I took a big step back, covering my mouth and gasping in shock. Husband, Cousin Warner, you two. Even if you can't control your feelings, you shouldn't be doing such indecent things during a flower viewing banquet. Cousin Warner, if you have feelings for my husband, you could have just told me honestly, and I'd have let him take you as a concubine. But doing it like this, I sobbed with tears streaming down my face, couldn't catch my breath, and fainted. When I woke up again, it was already late at night. The maid waiting outside heard the sound and quickly walked in. Madam, you are finally awake. The Marquis has sent people to ask several times already. I instructed the maid, first pour me a cup of water, then go tell the Marquis that I am awake. I had just taken 2 sips of water when Lu Shao arrived. He sat down by the bed, looking troubled, as if he didn't know how to say what came next. As a virtuous wife, I should think what my husband thinks. I lowered my voice and said, Husband, Cousin Warner has given her body to you, so you naturally must take responsibility for her. How about we pick an auspicious day and take her as a concubine first? Lu Shao furrowed his brows tightly and said nothing. Having lived 2 lifetimes, I naturally knew what he was thinking now. He didn't want Zhang Warner to be a concubine. With his deep affection for Zhang Warner, even making her an equal wife would feel like wronging her. Husband. I analyzed for him. We've only just married. If you take an equal wife now, I am afraid it will affect your official reputation. Let's plan for the long term. We'll let Sister Warner be a concubine for now, and next year find a suitable opportunity to elevate her to equal wife. Lu Shao was very surprised to see me being so magnanimous. You see, in my previous life, I'd have rather dragged him down with me than let him take a concubine. He lowered his gaze to the floor, then quickly raised his eyes to look directly into mine. Wen Yining, you've also come back, haven't you? I secretly clenched my fists, putting on a confused expression. Husband, what do you mean? I've returned too. This humble wife doesn't understand what you are saying. Lu Shao chuckled lightly. It is nothing. I am just a bit puzzled why Madam suddenly allowed me to take a concubine. My eyes reddened slightly. Husband, since I've married into the Marquis manor, my fate is bound with the manors. We rise and fall together. I don't want others gossiping about the Marquis manor behind our backs. The matter between you and Cousin Warner was seen by so many people. To prevent ill-intentioned people from making a fuss about your moral failings and affecting your promotion, it is better to take Cousin Warner as a concubine. It is just that Cousin Warner will have to bear the grievance of being a concubine for now. Lu Shao was very satisfied with my sensibility and consideration of the bigger picture. Rest assured, madam. Making Warner a concubine is just a temporary measure. Warner isn't an unreasonable person. She'll understand your good intentions. Not long after Lu Shao left, the maid I had bribed in Zhang Warner's courtyard came to report. The gist was that Zhang Warner, upon learning she would be a concubine, threw a huge tantrum and smashed everything in the room. When smashing a vase, she accidentally hit Lu Shao. Lu Shao's forehead was cut open, and blood gushed out right then and there. Lu Shao, who had always been obedient and accommodating to Zhang Warner, rarely scolded her. He ordered her to stay in her own courtyard and reflect properly, without his command. She was not allowed to step half a foot outside the gate. They wanted to use the house arrest to grind away Zhang Warner's arrogance. I won't agree to that. On the other side, under my arrangement, Lu Yue already found out about Zhang Warner's schemes against her. When she was making a scene about catching adulterers at her own home, the Minister of Revenue's wife was also present. She and second young Master Sunday had already secretly pledged their lives to each other. If Madame Sunday thought she was a gossip monger, this excellent marriage would be ruined. When it comes to one's own interests, all that deep sisterly bond stuff is fake. Lu Yue brought her maids and charged into Zhang Warner's courtyard, smashing everything up. Before leaving, she had the maids hold Zhang Warner down, rolled up her sleeves, and slapped Zhang Warner's face back and forth. Zhang Warner collapsed on the ground, her face hurting but her heart even colder. A money-losing goods who'd be married off sooner or later, how dare she come hit her? This grudge, she would definitely pay her back. What Lu Yue cared about most was her own marriage, wanting to marry into the Minister of Personnel's household. Keep dreaming. As soon as Lu Shao got off duty, Zhang Wan threw herself into his arms, crying about how Lu Yue bullied her while he was at court. She had thought it through and was willing to become a concubine first, so at least she'd have the status of sister-in-law. After hearing the servant's report, I just found it funny. This cousin, Miss Zhang Wanner, I am afraid she'd stayed at the Marquise's mansion too long and forgot that a concubine is just a servant who can be sold off at will. Lu Shao wanted me to arrange the concubine taking matters as soon as possible, lowering himself to please me. Madam, it has been some time since our wedding, and we haven't visited your family yet. How about I accompany you back to pay respects to your late parents these few days? I pretended to be pleasantly surprised and moved. Husband, you are so good to me. Not long after this rebirth, Lu Shao seemed to have forgotten his hatred for me from the previous life. Looking at me, a hint of tenderness welled up in his eyes, and he even wanted to embrace me. I quickly coughed, covering my mouth with a handkerchief to stop him from coming closer. Husband, I am not feeling well. Damn it, curse him. He promised to stay pure for Zhang Wanner. Almost forgot, huh? Lu Shao, what a scumbag. The visit to my family never happened after all. The old madam, who should have died of illness a year later, suddenly died. After the household physician examined her, it was confirmed that due to her old age, she died suddenly from a heart attack. But I saw it crystal clear, as the household physician diagnosed the cause of death. Zhang Wanner's tense nerves instantly relaxed. So the old madam was poisoned to death by Zhang Wanner. Her purpose in doing this was solely to hold back Lu Yue, preventing her from getting married within 3 years. Lu Yue had already come of age last year. In another 3 years, she'd be considered an old maid. The naturally philandering second young master Sunday might not be willing to wait for her. In this capital, young and beautiful girls sprout up like bamboo shoots after rain, batch after batch, growing up so fast. In 3 years, Lu Yue would be nothing but a faded beauty in second young master Sunday's eyes. While grieving, Lu Shao ordered the steward to arrange the old madam's funeral. Just as he was halfway through speaking, Lu Yue jumped out to object. Brother, after mother passes away, I'll have to observe mourning for 3 years. By then, who am I supposed to marry? Put mother in the ice cellar first. Wait until I get married, then announce her death to the public. Lu Shao's eyes were full of shock as he roared at Lu Ye. This is our biological mother. She has passed away, and instead of thinking about letting her be buried soon, you want to send her to the ice cellar. Do you even deserve to call yourself a child of hers? Lu Yue's temper flared up too. I just want a good marriage match that could also help you and the Marquise's mansion. Am I wrong? She paused, then continued shrieking. Mother is already dead when she was alive. What she cared about most was the future of the Marquise's mansion. If she knew that her death delayed my marriage and affected your career, she wouldn't rest in peace. Lu Shao stood there motionless, not moving for a long while. I knew he had taken Lu Yue's words to heart. He was tempted. The Daxing dynasty governed the realm through filial piety. The current emperor was himself a remarkably filial son. If he found out that Lu Shao stuffed his deceased mother into an ice cellar for his career, he would at the very least be stripped of his position and title and exiled thousands of miles away. It was time for me to pay a visit to my great-granduncle. He was the most upright and incorruptible censor in the entire Daxing dynasty. Sure enough, after I finished speaking, my great-granduncle was so agitated that even his beard was trembling. The opportunity to make a name and leave a legacy for generations had come. He also reminded me that I must divorce before he finishes writing the impeachment memorial, to avoid being implicated. I told great-granduncle that Lu Shao never took our marriage certificate to the government office to register it. Lu Shao also never added me to the Lu family genealogy. Upon hearing this, great-granduncle rolled up his sleeves and got to work, writing thousands of words to impeach Lu Shao in one flourish. After leaving great-granduncle's house, I strolled around the streets for a while before heading back. As soon as I got off the carriage, Lu Shao ran over. Wife, where did you go? Why are you only back now? He reached out to help me, but I dodged by stepping aside. I kept a gentle expression. Husband, is something the matter? Lu Xiao's gaze was evasive. Yue were left a letter, saying she eloped with young Master Sunday. I feigned surprise. Eloped. In my past life, Lu Yue also wanted to elope, but after I noticed the signs, I stopped her in time. Before she could climb over the wall, she was caught by the maid I had arranged and locked in a room. I earnestly advised her that young Master Sunday was not a good man. She said I was jealous of her marrying up. Latter, she and Zhang Wan'er framed me for adultery, causing Kuiji to lose her life. I stood by and watched, never caring about Lu Yue again. What she couldn't accomplish in her past life, Lu Yue finally managed to do in this one. Truly, everything is destined by fate, and nothing is up to us. I slightly furrowed my brows. Hurry up and report to the capital magistrate to find her. If we delay any longer, what if she leaves the city? Where would we even look? Lu Xiao gritted his teeth. Madam, we can't report to the capital magistrate. Yer is after all an unmarried young lady. It would damage her reputation. I secretly rolled my eyes inside. Any later, and your sister might not even keep her life. Yet you are still here worrying about reputation. What do you want to do then? I wanted to see what Lu Xiao was really up to. Madam, you can speak with Madam Sunday. Make a trip to the Sunday family and have them look for Yue and their second young master. I stared into Lu Xiao's eyes, enunciating each word. In what capacity should I go? Lu Xiao spoke urgently. As the Marquis Manor's madam, of course. Yue's sister-in-law. I raised my voice. I just went to the government office. There is no marriage certificate between you and me. What kind of Marquise's madam am I supposed to be? Lu Xiao's expression changed drastically. Why did you think to check the marriage certificate? Suddenly, realization dawned on him. When Yining, you were also reborn. I looked behind him. About a dozen burly men were carrying things outside. It was precisely my dowry. Kuiji trotted over to my side and said, as if claiming credit, Miss, the dowry has all been inventoried. Nothing is missing. I tapped her nose tip and smiled. Well done. Just as Lu Xiao was about to stop me, someone rushed over and grabbed his sleeve. It was Zhang Wan'er. She cried out, Brother Xiao, save me. Lu Xiao was irritated to the extreme. He pushed her hand away. What is wrong with you now? Before Zhang Wan'er could speak, a huge crowd swarmed over. As it turned out, Zhang Wan'er had gone crazy for some reason and rode a horse through the streets. The horse went out of control, rampaging through the streets, trampling who knows how many people to injury or death. Lu Xiao's face turned deathly pale. He shook his head helplessly at Zhang Wan'er. I can't help you. The constables from the capital magistrate's office arrived in time and took Zhang Wan'er away. Lu Xiao walked up to me, looking at me hesitantly. Ning, I was wrong. From now on, I'll be devoted wholeheartedly only to you. Let's live a good life together. I looked toward the street corner. You don't have that chance anymore. A eunuch's shrill voice rang out. By the mandate of heaven, Lu Xiao could no longer hear what was said after that. He had only one thought in his mind. He and the Qingyuan Marquis Manor were finished. When the imperial guards escorted him away, I told him something. In my previous life, Zhang Wan'er didn't leave the capital because I disagreed with taking a concubine. The truth was, she had already met mountain bandits on her way when she came to seek refuge at Qingyuan Marquis' manor. She had been a bandit's wife for a while, but found being poor too hard, so she made a deal with the bandits. Once she got into Qingyuan Marquis Manor, she would empty the manor and live a carefree life with the bandits. What she didn't expect was that I, an orphan from the general manor who defended the nation, would marry into Qingyuan Marquis Manor. I managed the household affairs so well that she never found an opportunity to make her move. The capital has the 5 wards military command. Even mountain bandits wouldn't dare come in. To make things hard for me too, she deliberately left a letter saying she left heartbroken. Then she had someone deliberately send back word saying she was kidnapped by mountain bandits. Lu Xiao stared wide-eyed at me in disbelief. Is everything you said true? I scoffed coldly. Don't rush. I am not done yet. The last time you went to find Zhang Wan'er, the people who killed you were also arranged by her. She resented you constantly professing your love for her, yet failing to send the money to the bandits as requested. Furthermore, your frequent visits to her led the bandits to suspect you were having an affair. The bandits kept beating her. To make the bandits believe she and you were innocent, she sent people to ambush and kill you. And just now, the horse rampage in the street, you thought Zhang Waner was in a bad mood. Wrong, she was going to meet up with the bandits, but unexpectedly rode a mad horse. Lu Xiao was trembling all over. Did you arrange the mad horse? I let out a sigh, Lu Xiao, in your past life until your death. You never understood me, and it is the same in this life. My parents were both heroes who defended the country and let the people live and work in peace. No matter when, I would never harm innocent people for my own selfish gain. Lu Xiao's face was ashen, constantly murmuring, I was wrong, terribly wrong. Jiang Wan rode recklessly in the street, causing countless innocent people to be killed and injured, and was sentenced to death by dismemberment. Her bandit husband, the court, sent troops overnight to encircle and suppress them. None survived. Lu Xiao's unfilial conduct exposed that he had once embezzled disaster relief funds. His Majesty was furious, stripped him of his rank and title, threw him into the imperial prison, and set a date for his execution. Lu Xiao tried every possible way to have the jailer pass a message to me, begging me to see him one last time. By then, the third rouge shop Kuiji and I opened was already in business, and trade was booming. I found some time to visit the imperial prison. Lu Xiao and Jiang Waner, two heinous criminals, were locked in the same cell. Seeing me, Lu Xiao withdrew the hand he'd been using to beat Jiang Waner. Jiang Waner caught him off guard and bit down on his ear. Lu Xiao cried out in pain, and by the time he shook Jiang Waner off, she had already bitten off one of his ears. You bitch, it is all because of you that I've ended up in this situation. Jiang Waner cackled madly. Lu Xiao, you are just too stupid, and you still have the nerve to blame me. I couldn't be bothered to watch them go at each other like dogs, so I asked Lu Xiao, you called me here, what do you want? Lu Xiao lunged over and grabbed the wooden bars. Ning, please, I am begging you, save me. After your parents died in battle, didn't the Emperor grant you an iron certificate of pardon? Give it to the Emperor and have him pardon my death sentence. I took a big step back, looking at Lu Xiao like he was an idiot. Dream on. As I turned to leave, I thought of something, stopped in my tracks and turned back. Lu Xiao, in the previous life after you died, I threw you into a mass grave. In this life after you are beheaded, you'll still be thrown into a mass grave. What answered me was bitter weeping, wailing, and curses. I didn't look back and strode into the sunlight. Part of the money I earned, I donated to the national treasury, and part I used to buy provisions and winter clothes for the soldiers at the border. The emperor personally bestowed a plaque, with 4 large characters, written in his own hand, a woman of virtue and righteousness. I saw Lu Yue again a year later. By then Lu Xiao and Jiang Waner had long been executed. She found my newly opened shop, knelt before me, and wailed loudly. Sister-in-law, it is me, Lu Yue. If she hadn't announced who she was, I would never have been able to connect this disheveled, barely clothed person before me with that charming and lively Lu Yue. Sister-in-law, you clearly stopped me from marrying Sunday Fuyun in the previous life. Why didn't you care about me in this life? After he tricked me into eloping with him, he quickly got tired of me and sold me to the lowest class brothel. I've been living such a miserable life. I looked into her eyes and said calmly, in the previous life, didn't you hate me for being jealous of your good marriage? Now you know you were wrong, but it is too late. Sister-in-law, Lu Yue kowtowed to me. 2 burly men rushed out from the side, grabbed Lu Yue and dragged her away. You stinking whore. Your indenture contract is still here, and you think you can run. Just wait till we get you back and see how we deal with you. Lu Yue was so scared she was trembling all over, pleading with me with her eyes. I ignored her, felt no ripples in my heart, and turned to attend to the customers. Lu Yue's fate. I didn't care. I just wanted to wholeheartedly earn more money and carry on my parents' dying wish. To do everything in my power, so the border would have enough provisions, warm winter clothes, to guard the territory and keep the people safe.